Don't bully people. We don't like bullying. We don't stand bullying in this house. Good evening, everybody. It is Sunday. I don't know the date. Oh, here it is. Sunday, February 9th at 6:29 p.m. And you are watching or listening to K-Conspiracies, the podcast where we talk about K-pop conspiracy theories because I love K-pop. So, last week we talked about girl groups, and this week we're going to talk about boy groups because I got into K-pop based on boy groups, so this is going to be a good one. I have a couple doozies in here. I actually have, some of these are actually pretty, how do I describe this? Upsetting, question mark? I don't know. Probably not upsetting, but kind of crazy. A lot crazier than some of the girl group conspiracies. Only in the fact that there's a lot more of them than I found. But before we get into the conspiracies, we are going to go over my K-pop songs of the week. Okay. Remember last time when I said I didn't like Red Velvet? I like their new song Psycho. You know what? And I blame TikTok, okay? I blame most of the problems in my life these days on TikTok because I open that app and I'm like, oh, I can get on it for 20 minutes. I'm on it for 2 hours. But I hear the sound so much on TikTok that I'm just the intro, the opening part just got stuck in my head. So then I had to listen to the full thing and now I'm hooked on it. So there's that. But I still don't stand them. I would not consider myself a regular fan. I just like that song. So basically this lesson of this is don't quote me on anything because I'm not reliable when it comes to that stuff. Also, Infinite, Nothing's Over. This is an older song, but I rediscovered it recently on Spotify when I was looking through their songs. And it's a total bop. It's an old song, and you can tell it's an old song, but it's super cute, and the music video is super cute, and I love Infinite, and this just reminded me of the hardcore Infinite phase that I went through for a good 2 months when I first discovered them. And then this is a new song as well. Oh god, I'm gonna butcher this name. I know this group, okay? I'm not uncultured. I know this group. They are Sech Skies. They're an older group. They were first generation K-pop, I'm pretty sure. All For You, that's one of their new songs, and it's really good, and you should all listen to it because, yeah. So, now we've gone over that, we're going to get into the good stuff here. But, like I said, there's so much here that is actually kind of shocking and maybe a little bit upsetting. I don't know. But we're going to start off with something really silly and kind of just, it's so fake and so pretend, but it's super funny. That is Pentagon member Hui is in the Illuminati. So, basically, there's this video on YouTube when I was originally searching for K-pop conspiracy theories, that Pentagon member, Hui, who's also in Triple H when that was a thing, it's not a thing anymore, he has a twin brother, and 2, he's also in the Illuminati. There's also another theory that I found that Jaejoong from JYJ was in the Illuminati, but I swapped it out for some more, interesting theories. So, if we have time, I'll get to it, but I feel like if we run out of time, I'll probably just go back to some of my girl group conspiracy theories that I didn't get to last time. But, anyway. So, yeah. So, basically, this is a video from a channel called Shinwan the King. And, basically, Hui is in the Illuminati. He's basically one of the leaders of the Illuminati. Beyonce, watch out. and he wants to take over the world and K-pop. Yeah, that's the whole theory. But no, some evidence for this, I say in air quotes, is the Runaway music video. And like I'm not into Pentagon that deep, so I don't really know the song, but apparently in that music video he was wearing a jacket that said Manuel on it. And this video claims that Manuel is not actually Hui dressed in a jacket that says Manuel. He's actually his secret twin brother. They look exactly alike. And they were created by the Illuminati to be perfect. That's why he's so pretty and he sings really well and he's just a really talented person. So, yeah. I guess his perfectness was supposed to overwhelm us and just let him have whatever he wants. Which I guess for Pentagon fans is working, but, sorry, I didn't mean to offend any Pentagon fans, I'm sorry. But yeah. So there's that theory. Like I said, it was stupid. But... And if you watch the video too, it's so clearly fake, but it's hilarious. It just takes your mind off of shit, you know? Oop, I just swore, I'm so sorry. It just takes your mind off of, like, all the bad stuff going on in the world. You know, all the serious conspiracy theories, it kind of just, like it's just, it brings back a fun element to it. But yeah. So, let's see, how long do I have? I have like 2 minutes. So, let's see. I want to get to the EXO ones later because I love EXO. Anyway, sorry, that noise is weird. But, this one, I don't know. There's so many good ones here. I think we'll do Stop NCT Managers, which isn't really a theory, but it's more of a thing that happened back in 2018. So basically, this is again another video that I will link. There's several videos on this actually, but the one I took my stuff from will be linked in the description below so you can see it. And I actually have all the links this time, so I just have to copy and paste. Oh my god, you're so smart, Kailene. I'm proud of you. Everyone, you should be proud of me. But yeah, so this is, like I said, not really a theory, but it's more so just something that happened with NCT and a lot of, what are their fans called? It's something along the lines of, like, netizens, but it's, like, with NCT instead of Met. I don't know. But NCT fans were kind of upset about the way their managers and staff were treating the group. And this video kind of runs over a lot of instances where they show the managers and staff being super controlling over them, too controlling to a point. But because I only have, like, 30 seconds left now, I will get a little bit into these more after the commercial break. But yeah, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Super M and why the heck that's a thing. Like I said, we're going to talk about EXO, my favorite group, and Donnie and Connie, and why everyone wants them to be fired. So yeah, stick around and we'll be back with more conspiracies. Welcome back, everybody. So yeah, before the break, we talked a little bit about Hui being in the Illuminati, which, very believable. If you didn't believe it, I don't know what you're doing wrong. And we were just starting to get into the hashtag Stop NCT Managers. So if you're just joining us, like I said, this is something from 2018 where a lot of fans noticed that in a lot of their live streams or videos that they put out that the managers and staff that were on them with them during that video or live were very controlling and mistreating them. So, like I said, the video will be linked in the description, but here are some examples of clips that were in that video. So a lot of them I found were just clips of them acting silly or doing cute things, and all of a sudden you see them look off camera and they stop. And they like immediately start frowning and they stop doing it, which like I said, led a lot of fans to believe that managers or staff were telling them to stop and controlling them way too much, or way more than they thought they should be. Excuse me. So one of these included, there was one of Mark. he was laughing at something. Wasn't quite sure what it was, but he was laughing, and then when he looks off camera, he suddenly stops, and when he looks back away from the camera, his face is just very blank. And you can like definitely see that he's looking off camera. But yeah, there's one, and then there was one where a lot of them where they were being told to like move items like water bottles or something like out of the frame, or where they were being told to like move to different spot in, like if they were like standing in a line. Like there was one, I forget who it was. I'm not, like I said, I'm not really into NCT, but did I say that? I don't think I said that. I'm not really into NCT. But there was one member who was standing off to the side, and then you see him look off camera and then try to go to the middle to stand, even though there's no room for him. So that was, again, probably somebody telling him to do that. And then there was a couple of these too. Wait, no, let's start with this one. So then there was one where Ten and Johnny were speaking English during live, because they can speak English, because they're an international group. And they look off camera and they suddenly stop and start speaking Korean. So a little bit of control going on, probably. But there was one where like there's a lot of these clips where Taeyong is exposing them. Like there was one where he said, like I think it was during a live, like he said, they're telling us to stop, the people in front of us are telling us to stop. So there's a lot of these clips in this video where he's like pretty much outing these managers and staff. They're controlling them way more than they should be. And in a lot of these clips you can tell they seemed very uncomfortable. A lot of them were very stiff, I should say, like very rigid, like they were afraid to like make any move that wasn't okay. And there's even a clip in this where they say they're asked, like they're doing, I think maybe they're doing a Q&A or something, but they're asked like the person they're most afraid of, and they immediately say their manager, but they laugh it off as if it's a joke, but I think what the question really meant was, who in the group are you most afraid of? But the fact that that was their first answer just kind of proves that they were probably in a scary situation. I couldn't find really any updates on this. I don't know if those managers have since been fired, or I don't know, they've just gotten used to it and they found, ways to get around it. But yeah, so that one, like I said, not really a theory, more so than something that actually happened. But yeah, and like I said, I don't really like NCT, but managers do have to exercise some kind of control over the artist because that's their job. But at the same time, it's like they're human beings, they're allowed to think for themselves to some extent. Even if you are, K-pop artists, you're allowed to think for yourself, and the fact that they were controlling them even when they were just trying to laugh or say something cute or speak English, like, come on, like, y'all need to stop. Like, no, like, we get it. But yeah, so let's see, next theory. Coney. Let's do New East. Not a lot of people know about New East. Let's do New East. We are going to get to BTS, because even though I'm not into BTS as much as I used to be, there is a big theory about them, and I feel like a lot of people would be mad if I did not include that one. So we're going to do it. But we're going to get into New East first. The BTS one is probably one I'll do last, maybe before EXO. But yeah, so New East, there's a theory. I don't know if it's a theory. I don't know. I found this theory and then I wrote it down and I didn't link where I got it, so then I couldn't find it. So then I just kind of had to form my own theory kind of about it. But basically the theory is that New East went on Produce 101 to gain sympathy and support from Korean fans. So, just a little bit about New East. They debuted in 2012 with Face, which is a certified bop. That song is so good. So good. One of the best debut songs, in my opinion, of course, after Replay by Shiny, because that is iconic and you can't beat that one. But they debuted under that with Please Entertainment, with 5 members: Ren, JR, Baeko, Aaron, and Minhyun. So then they were around for 5 years, but they didn't really get super famous. And a lot of this had to do with the fact that Please wasn't one of the big 3 companies at the time, and this was the year of like just a lot of groups debuted. Like EXO debuted that year. And they obviously blew up, and they were under SM Entertainment, so they're still under SM Entertainment, unfortunately. But so there were a lot of groups that debuted that year under the big 3 that got a lot more promotion than they did, so they got more famous. So over the 5 years later, they didn't get really that popular. They were very underrated. In my opinion, they are probably still one of the most underrated groups in K-pop. So in 2017, like I said, 5 years later, there were rumors going around saying that they were going to disband and join Produce 101 Season 2. And Please confirmed that they were going to join the show, but they didn't confirm that they were going to disband. But this was kind of seen as their last chance, that if it didn't work out, they were going to disband. And I will get more into this after the break. So, and just some details about what happened and why people think this. So, enjoy a word from our sponsors, and I will see you back here soon. Welcome back. We're going to jump right back into the theory that New East joined Produce 101 to save themselves from disbanding. I think this is another one of those things that really isn't a theory. Probably actually happened. Yeah, there are a little bit of the fact that a lot of them lost, and just the way the whole thing went kind of makes this a little bit more of a theory. But like I said, they debuted in 2012 under Please. They didn't really get super popular, so then 5 years later in 2017, Please confirmed that they were going to be participating in Produce 101, but as 4 members. So it was only JR, Baeko, Minhyun, and Ren that were participating. And there were a lot of theories about why Aaron wasn't going to be participating, because Please never really made an official statement saying why. So a lot of these included that he had an injured leg, so he couldn't join because he had to recover. When he first auditioned with the group, Mnet rejected him because he's had a lot of controversies in the past, and some of those include sexist comments towards Chocolat member Tia and Lori on Ardeon radios in 2013, and I remember this one, but he insulted he insulted 17 or something. I remember seeing articles about this, and it kind of actually got me just a little bit triggered, but it's fine. But apparently he said some not so nice things to 17 back in 2015. So, and so in connection to that, Please didn't really want him to join again because the controversies might come up again and they'll be used against him, which will, hurt, how the group performed in the show. And then they didn't want them to join with all the members because that could lead to disbandment. Therefore, they left one out, and that person was Aaron. But then, obviously, these were all kind of debunked after because he confirmed that he was injured, but he still supported everyone by watching the show every week, so it was all good. But a lot of people thought that the rest of the members, their involvement in the show would be bad because they had already debuted. Like, it would kind of just be, unfair because they already debuted, and they've already been promoting for 5 years. Wait. No, I don't know what's happening with my head today. Ooh. Yeah. Oh yeah, so they already debuted, so that would automatically put them in the running to win. So they felt it would be unfair to the other contestants. However, a lot of people also saw this as their last chance. Even the members saw this as their last chance because even though they had been around for 5 years, like I said, they didn't get a lot of popularity. Or as much popularity as I think Please was hoping they would. So if they didn't succeed on Produce 101, then they would disband, and that's something they obviously did not want to do. And Ren even was quoted saying, during an interview in episode 1, saying, "Now I really thought I could really see the end. The day that New East disbands doesn't seem so far away anymore." So you could see there that they were actually very scared that they would disband if this didn't work out for them. So after the whole show went through, a lot of them did get popular. I think JR was turned out to be a really popular leader, and they all had their kind of strengths, and a lot of them improved as well in their vocals and dancing and performing abilities and all that. But Minhyun ended up being the only one who survived Produce 101, and he debuted with the temporary group 101. But after that, the rest of New East didn't disband, and Pledis saw this as an opportunity to create kind of a subunit, and that was called New East W, which I think just really means New East W, meaning New East without Minhyun. Because where else does the W come from? Like, what? But anyway, and they promoted while Minhyun was doing stuff with 101. But basically the theory is that they did all this, I don't know if it was kind of like 16 where they had already chose who the winners were going to be, or Pledis already kind of made a deal with Mnet to like, oh, you can eliminate them, but like just keep one of them so then people will feel bad and support New East W and all this other crap. But just to gain popularity and through sympathy for them, so that they wouldn't have to disband afterward. So they, fans would protest so that they wouldn't have to disband and all this other crap, which apparently worked because New East W received a lot of love from fans, even while Minhyun was promoted with 101, and after 101 ended, they came back together as New East again, and I think their first single at that point was Bet Bet, which is a bop. Again, all these songs are good. You all should listen to them. Trust me, they're great. But yeah, so I mean, I really haven't heard anything about them since, so I don't know if the plan is still working. But yeah, so that's kind of the theory there. Yeah, and I don't think this is too far-fetched. I mean, again, and especially in terms of, this is our last chance. Like, we have nothing else to do. If this doesn't work, then we're screwed. So it makes sense. I don't think Pledis will ever actually say, or Mnet will actually ever admit that they were working together for this, but it's fine. Hopefully they're still doing well. Like I said, I haven't really heard anything from them since, unless I just haven't been checking in. Honestly, EXO has taken over my life, so that's probably why. But yeah, we've got a couple minutes left. I want to save the EXO stuff. Ugh. Okay, so let's get into Doni and Koni. This isn't really about like a male K-pop group, because they're not really a male K-pop group, but they are MCs that often have like guests that are male K-pop groups and all the other stuff, but I kind of included them because they were male, because that's how they identified. And this is honestly such a big thing, I feel like, and some of this crap is actually pretty controversial, and I honestly don't know why they haven't gotten fired yet. But anyway, there's a video for this that I will link in the description below, and these are just another one of those situations where there's a lot of videos that are exposing them for things that they've done. This is just one, so I'm sure more recommended videos will pop up after that if you watch this. But Doni and Koni, they are MCs for variety shows, or popular variety shows in Korea, such as Weekly Idol and Idol Room, and people are have started to expose them since kind of last year for being really rude and just being overall really creepy to the artists, and abusive too. There's like one situation here where one of them actually got pretty abusive. So I will get back to this theory after the break because I only have 10 seconds left. But yeah, so we'll get back to that and do some BTS and then EXO, because I love EXO. So enjoy these words. Okay, welcome back everybody. Peter froze up on me a little bit, but we're just going to jump right into it because I don't have time for that mess. But yeah, if you're just joining us, welcome to K-Conspiracies. This is Kailene. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm sorry. I'm Kailene, music director here at Big Radio, and we're gonna jump right back into the Donnie and Coney theory. I don't know if it's really a theory. A lot of these aren't even theories at this point. And a lot of the stuff I want to talk about aren't really theories. It's just like me ranting about K-pop. So I apologize for the name. It's kind of misleading. But anyway, so yeah, I just went over who they were. They're MCs for variety shows, mostly known for Weekly Idol. And a lot of fans who watch the show, and as well as I'm sure a lot of the guests that appear on the show, find them to be creepy, rude, and abusive to the people that come on the show. And a lot, like I said, some of these are actually kind of extreme. And the video gives a lot more examples. I think I put most of them down, but I got kind of tired and I didn't want to like steal the whole video. So more of them will be in that, but so we'll start with one that is kind of more of a case of abuse. Junghyun from Twice, she was hit with a hammer. So it wasn't a real hammer. Let's clarify that. But it was one of those plastic hammers. It's often like, I know on Knowing Brothers they do this where they have like a question and answer segment, and if they don't get the answer to the question right, then they get hit on the head or wherever with the hammer. And it's intended to be light, but in this case it wasn't, because they were doing a random dance challenge, and she messed up, or I think she was in the wrong place, or she messed up on the choreography, and Donnie hit her so hard that she almost started crying. Like, boy, why are you trying to hurt a girl like that? But yeah, and you can see it if you watch. Oh my god, I am so sorry. Things are happening with my body. But yeah, you can see it if you watch the video that she is like, everyone is actually shocked by it, like how hard he hit her, and she, like, you can tell that she's trying to hold back tears because, you know, it's supposed to be a fun thing, and like she can't cry on national television because she was hit with a plastic hammer. But yeah, but it also, in relation to her and Twice as well, it also showed him shoving her in another episode, as well as Dahyun, and you can just tell how uncomfortable she was in these instances and how uncomfortable the other members were, because that was just taking it entirely too far. And another thing with an episode with Monsta X, they made jokes about Somalia, Syria, and Afghanistan, saying things like, you should go to the border of Syria where they drop bombs. So obviously that's not really okay. Like, and he also insulted Minhyuk by saying he was too skinny, and he disregarded the other members when they were talking about muscles and, you know, staying in shape, because at that time when Wonho was still in the group, please come back, Wonho, we miss you, but he was obviously the most muscly member, so they were just kind of focused on him the whole time, which upset a lot of fans because there's 7 of them, and they're called Monsta X, it's not called Wonho and Monsta X, it's Monsta X, so you should be focusing on all of their strengths, not just one of them. And then another one that kind of made me mad was they were acting very colorist, and they made colorist comments, which is basically, I think it's more of a thing in Korea because a lot of Korean people are obviously lighter skinned, so when there's idols that have darker skin, they tend to like make fun of them, or, you know, point them out and stuff like that, which isn't very nice. But they called Mamamoo's Hwasa a black rose because she's darker. Which, I mean, I understand you were trying to be nice because you called her a black rose, but still. Like, girl's a human. The color of her skin does not even matter. She's talented, she's great. But anyway. But they were also being misogynistic to her as well because they told her to close her legs while she was sitting. And, like, misogyny, I hate misogyny. That is like one of the things that boils my blood. So yeah, that one kind of actually made me mad. And other things that he did was he insulted 17's Junghan for being the girl of the group because at the time he had long hair. He insulted Stray Kids, NCT Dream. And with NCT Dream, like, he didn't do any, we could tell he didn't do any research about them beforehand. And they also did a bunch of stuff to GOT7 and Nature. So it's obviously they just been like, they've been rude, they've been abusive, and people are kind of sick of their crap. And people, a lot of them are like, why haven't they lost their jobs yet? Because this is repeated behavior. It's not getting any better. They clearly don't think they're doing anything wrong, and they just keep doing it. So somebody needs to tell them to fuck off. Oops, I swore again. I'm sorry. But somebody needs to tell them to kind of stop and, yeah, just check themselves, because, you know, no one else is telling them to do it at this point. And I think it was one of those things that started out as playful and funny, but it just got out of hand because obviously you're making people uncomfortable, and, yeah, K-pop fans are very defensive of the group, so even, you know, MCs like that are in the line of fire when it comes to things like that. But yeah, so that's the Doni and the Koni. And again, not so much a theory, but yeah. So then let's do this one. This one's fun. Ooh. SM cloning. They're artists. They've mastered the art of cloning. Which doesn't surprise me for SM Entertainment, because like I said in the last episode, I put nothing past them. But yeah, so basically there's this big theory that SM has mastered the art of cloning their artists, and now there's all these like clones walking around, and all their like most of their artists are clones of other artists, because I don't know. I don't know why they would do this. The only thing I could really come up with is that a big part of K-pop is the visuals. So if they have like a member of a group that is particularly good looking among the fans or something like that, then they want to clone them to get the same visuals or maybe get the same talent. I don't know. But some of these have like subtle differences, and some of these artists as well have like multiple people involved, so like more than two, or like there's one person who's, you know, could have been cloned by, you know, more than one person. But this is actually kind of scary because some of these people do look alike, and I'm just saying, I don't trust SM Entertainment for anything. Like, So yeah, we'll get more into this theory after the break, because again, this is one that's deep and terrifying, honestly. So yeah, we'll get back into cloning artists, BTS and EXO, after the break. So enjoy a word from our sponsors. Hi everyone, how you doing? Welcome back to K-Conspiracies with your host, me, Kailene, and we're gonna jump back into the possibility of SM cloning their artists. So yeah, I kind of got into maybe a reason why they would do this, for the visuals, for the talent, who knows. But yeah, so I'm going to go through a few examples here of artists that are shockingly similar looking, that make people think SM has mastered the art of cloning. So we're going to start with Irene and Suho. Irene is from Red Velvet, and Suho is leader of EXO. And I'm going to put pictures up of everyone here so you can see the the similarities rather. But yeah, some of these were actually terrifyingly similar looking. Taemin and Heechul, Taemin from SHINee and Heechul from Super Junior. This one was more so like when they had long hair. Like I know there was one example in the article that I read where they had long hair that made them look really similar. HOT's Woohyuk and Super Junior's Inhyuk, that one actually was scary. They looked so similar. Whew, that was this article kind of, I don't want to say it upset me, but like, SM, what are you doing? Shiwon and Kangta, I think Shiwon was from Super Junior. Kangta, I'm not sure if he's a solo artist. He sounds like a solo artist. I think he's a solo artist. I'm not too sure. But they look shockingly alike as well. And Suho too. He's kind of, this is one of those ones where it's like three people, but he kind of looks like them too. Jaejoong from JYJ and Taeyong from NCT. they look so much like literally I think Taeyong is Jaejoong's son. Like either SM is cloning or SM artists are having children and their children are becoming SM artists. So some shady crap is going on in SM regardless. Ye-sung from Super Junior and 10 from NCT. That one was more loose for me. It was one of those like maybe they have like subtle differences in cloning so like people don't like catch on to them. Even though we caught USN. Taeyeon and from Girls' Generation and Irene again. Minho from SHINee and Lucas from NCT. Oh no, he's on NCT. He's in Wavy. And he's in Super M. And then also another one I added was Lucas and Kai. Kai from EXO. So because there was a Super M video where they both had like the same color hair and they honestly looked really alike. Another person that really looks like Kai is Mingyu from 17, and that's why I don't really like Mingyu. And when I say I don't like Mingyu, I actually love Mingyu, but like he kind of annoys me because he looks so much like Kai, and I feel like they have really similar personalities. I'm just really confused, and I don't like it. And then Luna from FX and BoA, solo artist, they look alike as well. And then Jungwoo, I don't know where you're from. NCT, probably. I assume any male artist I don't know is from NCT. Because there's so many of them. And Taemin from SHINee. They also kind of look alike. But yeah, so, like I said, this one is, I don't want to say it's not, it's ridiculous. Because, I mean, cloning would be a little ridiculous. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't buy anything past SM. So, I don't know. Maybe they do. Probably. You know, honestly, I believe it. Y'all can tell I really like SM Entertainment. But yeah, so let's do BTS next. So then we can do into EXO, because I love EXO. If you haven't gathered already, I love EXO. But yeah, so BTS's 8th member. So BTS, if you don't know BTS, then I'm not even going to explain to you who they are, because they're not even arguably the most popular boy group in the world right now. But this all started, they have 7 members, but there's a lot of speculation that they might actually, they were supposed to have 8. And this all started with I think it was a tweet from someone named, I can't say that name. I think I know what you mean by that name, and I'm not going to say it. But I got some of these sources off Koreaboo, Amino, but yeah, it all started with a tweet. That says, BTS's 8th member conspiracy. Guys, I'm creeping myself out. Recently, I keep having this really strong sense that someone is missing every time I look at a picture of BTS. And one time there was this Doctor Who episode where when you died, your whole existence was completely eradicated from all of time, like you were never born. But if you really feel strong enough about them, you can remember that something is off. And my dumb brain is making me think there is an 8th member of BTS that died and was forgotten about, but I'm remembering glimpses and can feel his absence. So yeah. So that, like I said, I'm not really super into BTS anymore, but I never really felt like that. But a lot of people have noticed a lot of holes, or not holes, more so than evidence that might show that there was supposed to be an 8th member, which is not really an uncommon thing in K-pop. You know, these okay, trying to think of words. People that train to be idols, they are, they get told that they're going to be put in this group, and then things fall out, and members don't debut. Like that happened with 17. There originally was supposed to be 17, but 4 of them didn't end up debuting. So the fact that there might be an 8th member is not completely a stretch. But look into some evidence that supports this. And apparently in the, I don't know which era this was, the HYYH. I know what it is, but I don't know what it is at the same time. In that era, or eras, Jin apparently died. And actually I'm going to get into another episode of K-pop music video theories. But apparently he died in this, but a lot of fans are saying that Jin actually didn't die. Obviously Jin didn't die, because Jin is still alive. But in the music video, he didn't actually die. They were telling the story of the 8th member that never debuted with them. And again, with Spring Day, that music video, it wasn't about Jin or Taehyung, it was about that 8th member. And a lot of the evidence too is that they noticed that they always leave space in their photos or in some of their dance practice videos. I'll insert a couple of those pictures here so you can see. And there's even an earlier pre-debut photo that allegedly is like the first group picture of BTS, and you can see that there's not 7 of them, but there's 8 of them. So that actually got a lot of more people to believe that there used to be an 8th member of BTS. And even in the 2013 with the Oh Are You Late 2 album, the title has an 8 in it. So a lot of people thinking, oh, they're alluding to the fact or, commemorating the 8th member that never debuted with them. But yeah, so we'll get more into this after the break. So stick around for this crazy theory, and we'll be back. Welcome back, everyone. We are in our last segment of K-Conspiracies, and we're continuing on with the theory that BTS had an 8th member. So, like I said before, in 2013, they hinted with the Oh Are You Late 2 album that there was an 8th member because in the title of that album, they spelled out, instead of spelling out the words all together, they used like letters and they used the number 8. So people connected that. And there was also one where a theory that he appeared in the Fire music video, or there was like somebody who was supposed to symbolize him as the guy that was on fire in the beginning of the video. Now kind of onto who people think this missing 8th member is. A lot of people think it is Supreme Boy, who is a producer at Big Hit and has worked on several songs with BTS and BTS members if they've done solo projects. So like he did Cypher Part 3 with them, he did RM's mixtape, I think he featured on the song Tipsy with him. Another possibility that somebody mentioned was Kiddo from Top Dog, that maybe he was training at Big Hit, was supposed to debut with BTS, but something fell out and he ended up at Stardom and debuted with Top Dog instead. But a lot of people seem to be convinced that it is Supreme Boy that is the missing BTS 8th member. So now I feel like it's kind of a meme because I don't know if you guys know Q Park. He's done a few videos where he's like, I'm BTS's 8th member. But yeah. So now we're gonna get into EXO with our last 6 minutes, and I might add some time onto this just because I want to get through all of it. So give me a moment. Oh yeah, but we're gonna get into Super M and why the heck they exist. So this is kind of, again, my own theory, but when I first heard about Super M, I was thoroughly confused. I was like, why? Why? Like, why? Like, no, like, did anybody ask for this? Because I didn't ask for this. So yeah, and I saw, like, a lot of people, too, like, on Tumblr and other social media, just very confused. Like, why did SM create this super boy group? And let alone, why did they name them Super M? Like, are you kidding me? But I'm not trashing them because dropping slaps, and I bought the Kai version of the album because I have to support my boy Kai. That's just how it goes. But like, I'm just very confused about why they exist. So these are just, like I said, this is my theory. I don't know. I just gotta try to explain this to myself because I don't get it. But I think one that makes the most sense is to kind of go against BTS, specifically, which was specifically created group that was meant to promote, in the West, because obviously BTS has gotten super popular, and even Monsta X and Blackpink, they've all gotten a lot of attention overseas, and I think SM saw that they were kind of missing out on this opening of this new market, where people were actually accepting K-pop as something that was legitimately cool and good, and not something to laugh at anymore. So they wanted to get in with that, but they didn't want to just start, promoting EXO or in one of their already existing groups in the US. They wanted to kind of start from scratch, take all these members from different groups together, and re-debut them in a completely different group. So yeah, so the groups they took from were EXO. They took Kai and Baker from EXO. They took Mark, Ten, Lucas, and Taeyong from NCT, and then Taemin from SHINee, who was supposed to be the leader but was like, no. And so Bacon took over the leader position, which I don't know why you'd ever let Beyond Bacon lead a group, but here we are in 2020 with Super M and leader Bacon. Another one that I thought that came up too was to promote NCT or prepare for an NCT like English subunit, because they do have Wavy, which is just strictly Chinese. So I feel like that kind of makes sense, to promote, get them out there more, so people, if they do debut like an English subunit for NCT, then people will be like, oh, I recognize you from Super M or something like that. And this is another one that I just kind of found, but was to prepare for EXO's enlistment, which again leads me into EXO theories. But yeah, so if you don't know, all male in South Korea are required to serve military service unless there is some like really big injury that prevents them from doing so. And they have like a window of time that they're allowed to do that. And a lot of them delay this for a while, for as much as they can before they have to do it. But EXO, I'm pretty sure, have reached that time limit, or it's speculated that they're going to be enlisting this year. So, and they're going to lose, they're already down to 6 because 2 members have already enlisted. So I think maybe SM was trying to prepare for that, because like EXO is pretty much going to be like split in half, almost split in half after they all enlist. So maybe they were preparing for that to give something for Kai and Bacon to do while they weren't promoting EXO. I don't know. But then that leads me into my next theory about why Kyungsoo enlisted early. Again, this is also my theory because Kyungsoo is one of my favorite people on the face of this planet. He's an EXO member. He's currently in the military. He's coming back next year around this time. But I honestly think that he has some beef with SM, which honestly, who doesn't have beef with SM? Because SM is a pain in the butt to deal with. Sorry, I'm trying to add more time to this so that I can get through everything. But yeah, so I think he had some beef with SM. I don't know what kind of beef he had with them, or like what was like the context behind it. Maybe they wanted him to do something, or maybe they wanted him to debut in Super M and he was like, how about no? Or I don't know, something. I just think something happened between them, and he was like, I scared myself for a minute. Oh my god, I thought someone was coming in. Whew. Heart attack avoided. But yeah, honestly, I think something happened with them, and he was just like, no, I'm gonna go to the military. And you know what, maybe too, he just kind of needed a break, because living as a K-pop idol is very stressful work, so maybe he thought it was just kind of a break from working. But some of these things that I kind of thought made me think, what was that sentence? Some of the things that made me kind of think that he has something going on with SM was that the way it was announced was super abrupt, because there were rumors before that he was leaving the group, but those kind of morphed into rumors that he was enlisting, but those were kind of dismissed by SM, I guess, and then I don't fully remember that part. But then it was just so abruptly announced that he was going to debut, and this was, SM confirmed it first, I'm pretty sure, and before he could even do it. And so I think maybe something they did that to spite him, because something that went down with him. And he released like a letter apologizing, saying, I really didn't want it to be released that way, but it's true. And also with his song That's Okay, which is the most beautiful song I've ever heard in my life, was released so quickly. It was just kind of like, because a lot of people were very surprised. They were like, what the heck? Like, what does this even mean? why all of a sudden is he enlisting? Why didn't we get any like prior notice of this or anything like that? It's just kind of that shock value of like, well, okay, this is happening, like let us process it for a minute. But and a lot of fans, because he hadn't really been promoting much at the time, like as far as we know, he hadn't really been filming for any movies, or and EXO hadn't been really doing anything, so so he hadn't been promoted or been doing anything for SM for a while. So that left a lot of fans upset, because it was like, so you're just gonna let him enlist without giving us anything to like remember when he's gone. So I think after a lot of pressure, they were like, fine, we'll give him a song on SM Station, and that's when That's Okay was released, and which honestly is such a great song. If you haven't listened to it yet, please do. Again, bless your ears. But I just think it felt like they just kind of threw it at us and were like, here, have your song, be quiet now. But it actually, I don't think they expected it to do really well, and it did really well on the charts. So I guess that's a big middle finger to SM. But yeah, speaking of members leaving and not coming back, this one actually scares me because I don't want anything to happen to EXO. But the next member to leave EXO. So if you don't know, EXO has lost a lot of members. They originally started out as 12, and then they lost 3 Chinese members, and then, yeah, Lei, he's still in the group technically, but there's some stuff going on with Korea and China where, you know, politically he can't promote with them. But yeah, so the theory of who is going to leave EXO next, and this is kind of going to morph into also like my own opinion and my own kind of theory, but there is this forum that it's just kind of a stupid thing. It's kind of like the Hui and the Illuminati one. But this user posted using the Wolf music video, I guess. Oh my god, this is so ridiculous, I can't. So I guess I noticed while watching the Wolf music video that it starts with Luhan, which is one of the traitors. He was one of the members that left. So yeah, I guess, oh yeah. So it starts with Chanyeol, Kai, Luhan, Chris Tao, which are the Luhan, Chris, and Tao are the 3 Chinese members that left EXO. But I don't think this really makes sense. I'm debunking this right now because Chris was the first member to officially leave. And then it was Luhan, and then it was Tao. So, but I guess like based off the close-ups in the music video, they were like, oh, I'm going to predict who's going to leave next. So they're predicting Kai is going to leave next. But I don't think that's going to happen. And then there's someone who says, nah, Kai won't leave his dearest Crystal alone. I'm like, And that's just another episode for another time, because I'm going to get into why fake dating is a thing and why we should all be very weary of everything that we hear. Sorry, I'm just moving stuff around again. But yeah. So, but yeah, honestly, I love EXO so much. They are probably right now my favorite boy group. My whole heart belongs to them. And you know, their contracts are about to expire. I think they expire in 2022. So obviously with Chen just releasing the news about being engaged and, you know, becoming a father, I think it is inevitable. I mean, even if that didn't release, like, it was already going to be inevitable that they were going to retire from EXO, and it was just going to be over, because that's just how it works. Like, as much as we love these groups, they don't last forever, because, you know, they're getting older, and they want to just do different things with their lives, whether that be, you know, different artistic things, or they want to settle down and, you know, have a family. So as much as, like, as a fan, as an EXO, I don't want to see them disband, I feel like as a person, you got to understand that they are people too, and they have other things they want to do. So I guess my predictions for who's going to leave EXO next, honestly, if I'm being completely truthful with you guys, I don't think any of them are going to resign. Maybe a few of them will, but I don't think it's going to be enough for them to stay as EXO as we know it today. Mostly because I think at this point they're just kind of done, and this is based off of a lot of interviews they've done lately. I feel like they've just been talking about just wanting to be happy now. They wanted to be happy as artists, and they've become a little bit more, brave when talking about, grievances they've had with SM. So I think I don't really foresee them resigning when their contract ends. But yeah, I think if there is another member that's going to leave first, it might be Kyungsoo, which breaks my heart, because when I first heard that news, I was literally, the rumor said he might leave. I was so upset. I'm like, I don't want you to leave the group. Please don't leave the group. But honestly, at this point, I feel for them. I love them so much that I just want them to be happy, and I just feel like Kyungsoo's just kind of done. I think after his contract is up, I don't think he's going to resign. But yeah, like I said, I don't think any of them are actually going to resign with SM, which I don't blame them, because, especially after they've been at it for almost 10 years now, and, they're humans. Like I said, they're humans. They want to do other things with their lives, and I just think, EXO has run its course, as sad as it is to say, but it's run its course, and yeah, it's just time to move on to different things that make them happy, and I think all you can do as a fan is be supportive and happy of that, and if you can't do that, then maybe you should just leave the fandom. And that was me adding all the fans who are still salty about Chen and his family and his fiance, so y'all can go away. But yeah, that was episode 2 of K-Conspiracies. We dived into some boy groups. BTS has a secret 8th member, apparently, who's in the Illuminati. Super M was created because SM was bored. And SM has also mastered the art of cloning. So basically what we learned from this is that SM is a scary place, and we should not trust them. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I just want to kind of open it up to you. What do you guys think I should talk about next? I have a few ideas. I want to talk about the dark side of K-pop, because a lot of people, especially who are just getting into it, kind of see the nice and fluffy side of it. They don't really see all the dark stuff that can go on. Fake dating is one I definitely want to get to, as I've mentioned in the last episode. Kaisu, that is, that can take up 2 episodes, y'all. I am so ready for that. And music video theories as well. And I have a few other ideas, but if there's anything you guys want me to talk about next, please recommend it in the comments, or you can email us at Cougar Radio, leave in the comments of our live stream section, because I want to know what you guys want to talk about, and I want to know where my fellow K-pop fans are in Misericordia, because I feel like there's a few of us, but we're just hiding. But yeah, again, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I will see you next week for another episode of K-Conspiracies. So, enjoy the rest of your evening, and yeah, bye-bye. Oh no, it froze. Everything was going so well, and it froze on me. Are you kidding me? This is what we carry my things. I quit.